Cage 64 on the 23rd of November at Aino Arena Järvenpää. Live on pay-per-view at cage.fi. The Kurdistan-born Finn, Hama Dara, is a fighter's fighter who loves to compete even up to over 10 times a year. Dara will fight anyone, anywhere, and his style is extremely entertaining no matter where the fight goes. Craig Macintosh is a Bellator veteran with a complete BJJ skill set. Macintosh looks to finish with a wide arsenal of dangerous submissions from any position on the ground. Will the path to victory be the sniper-like kicks and punches of natural entertainer Dara, or the slick submission game of Macintosh? Ladies and gentlemen, Hama Dara versus Craig Macintosh.
To the blue corner, Craig Macintosh.
To the cage here in Helsinki tonight, hoisting that Scottish flag high. He fights at a higher level martial arts and submission factory in Alloa, Scotland. And he is a submission ace. He's got a wealth of experience as a grappler, and he's going to look to put that to work here tonight against Hama Dara.
He's a veteran of professional grappling events like Polaris, which is the top event in the UK. So he has very versatile submission attacks, goes with great footlocks, aggressive on bottom position, and of course dangerous in top position. I have a feeling that him matched up, kind of like a crazy Scotsman matched up with Hama Dara, I think this fight can turn out to be something very, very exciting and action-packed.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love the idea of this, specifically because of the fact that Hama Dara, of course, also has pretty good submissions, and he is, you know, a rather lanky striker with a very, very interesting kicking game. So, you know, he looks to be evenly matched, roughly speaking, in height and in reach, and I think that that's going to be kind of intriguing to see how he does against another fighter who's nearly as long as him, but also has, you know, an intriguing grappling skill set. As mentioned, Craig Macintosh does have a wealth of experience as a grappler, but he's also got high-level MMA experience, having previously fought in Bellator, for example. Hama Dara, however, has just a ton of experience overall and is as game as they come. So this will be a very exciting matchup.
To the red corner, professional record of 4 wins and 5 losses, weighing 67.9 kilos, fighting out of Scotland, Greg "Mob" Macintosh! And in the red corner, Finnish fighter with a professional record of 8 wins and 9 losses, weighing 67.8 kilos, fighting out of Turku, Finland, Hama Dara!
That man is indeed bad to the bone. But so is his opponent. A very dangerous matchup for both men here tonight. And you know, interestingly, Alexei, the Muay Thai shorts for Macintosh, despite the fact that he's, you know, commonly referred to as largely a grappler.
Yeah, he's a grappling specialist, but that doesn't mean he cannot strike.
Absolutely. A very good point. I'm expecting an exciting and dynamic matchup. Touch gloves. They begin to feel each other out. Hama Dara opens up with a kick. Macintosh a feint. Macintosh a kick of his own, but outside of distance.
Even though Macintosh might have the more clear strengths when it comes to his grappling, because his grappling background is so strong, I think they honestly have very similar style. Striking-wise, they both prefer kicking over boxing, and they have fast and dangerous kicks. Maybe Hama has a more versatile kicking arsenal, but they are both powerful kickers, as you can see.
Yeah, that's very obvious.
And they are both submission threats. And they're very scrappy in scrambles. So they have a lot of similarities, these two.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this such an intriguing matchup to me. I mentioned it a number of times. It's just like they do have, again, you know, very similar builds. They both have similar arsenals in terms of like being relatively kick heavy. They both have versatile ground games and are not worried about maybe scrambling into a dangerous position in order to try and achieve a submission. But here, of course, we saw that now Macintosh has taken the top position.
Yeah, and I think this is where you can see the actual difference in skill. So Hama has to get out of this position. He cannot stay here for the rest of the round because Macintosh is the level of grappler that, yeah, great. That's exactly what Hama needs to do. He needs to initiate scrambles off of these positions and not engage in technical grappling exchanges with Greg Macintosh.
No, but you know, in those moments where he does need to make it nasty and make it crazy in order to get out of either a bad position or potentially find himself a peculiar submission entry, like he does that. So yeah, I'm actually...
yeah, he has the skill set to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see how that comes out against this particular opponent, because he is a tricky test. And of course, as we hurtle towards the midpoint of the first round, this is not specifically where you want to have found yourself, considering the potential for a judge's decision.
Again, you can see the great grappling skills of Macintosh. That first exchange where Hama got top position only briefly, and Macintosh was able to sweep him right away. And then the second one, even though Hama was able to scramble back to his feet, he was immediately able to friend with the back take and recover the top position on the ground.
Right, and if, you know, Hama Dara does find himself in these spots later on in the fight, finding those scrambles becomes much more difficult as you exhaust your glycogen and your just ability to be springy and quick. Good top control here from Macintosh.
Yeah, he's even though he's a BJJ artist, he's using the cage very well, pressuring Hama against the cage, trying to kill the hips. So, because once your neck is against the bottom, the bottom of the cage, it's very difficult to bridge or friend with triangles or arm bars or anything. So it makes it easier for the grappler to force the grappling exchanges. But once the bottom person is able to rotate so that his legs are against the cage, he can get a lot of leverage when pushing off to initiate the scrambles or get back to their feet.
Yeah, let's see if he's able to do something with that leverage here, because that position was just kind of taken from him, and then now it seems maybe he once again finds himself without the ability to initiate a scramble.
A great hip control by Greg Macintosh to maintain top position.
Yeah, absolutely, and throughout a majority of this first round. So good work from him.
Now switching, trying to hunt for the possibly an arm triangle or a friend with a guillotine.
Yeah, I think he's favoring that guillotine there. Yep, digging through, trying to get his arms connected, or his hands connected rather. I don't believe that will be the case. There's so little time. Oh, but a good elbow from Macintosh lands on Dara.
And that's how you should, in my opinion, elite grapplers should use their grappling skills, like threaten the submission or create an illusion that you are going to go for the neck and then use that to improve the position or land damaging blows, and then you hunt for the actual attack or the offense that you're looking for.
Make it sneaky.
Yeah, exactly. You have to mix it up to things that are available in mixed martial arts, not just grappling.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that just allows you to overall be a more effective threat to your opponents in general. So, like, if you're not able to rapidly find a submission, you increase the odds that you will if you've uncorked a couple shots. So that here we see that Macintosh throws a kick to the body and then immediately, I think, pulled guard there. Here he tries to dump Dara and then takes his back with relative ease there.
Yeah, off of that body lock movement where you step in the middle and you kind of like twist the opponent's upper body, the defender's upper body, they have only two options. If they hang on to the overhook, they'll end up on their back or face first to the mat. And if they let go of the overhook, exactly that happens. They can base on the mat and they end up on all fours, so you can attack you can friend the back take like Macintosh did.
Yeah, very beautiful work there. Of course, Dara is scrappy, so he tried to keep it scrambling, but a majority of that round was spent with Craig Macintosh in very, very clear control. Let's see how the second stanza opens up. Dara looking to pressure forward, opens up with a kick to the body. Let's see if he's able to do something here with the striking game that puts a little bit of perhaps fear or at least a bit of trepidation into Craig Macintosh. Stops him from perhaps attempting the takedown so frequently. Oh, good shot there. Jab from Craig Macintosh. Still kind of feeling out and getting range. As mentioned, these two definitely favor, kicks. Oh, and Dara lands one upstairs.
Hama has that kind of beautiful snapping kicking technique. It's not like traditional Muay Thai style kick. I mean, maybe it's not as powerful as some of the kicks that Macintosh is throwing, but once those land, they do damage. And the angle is a little bit sneakier, so it's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to read.
Oh, puts himself on his back there briefly, or at least on the mat. And then once again, Craig Macintosh is able to force the fight into a spot where he feels much more comfortable. Dara doing good to defend here, but technically perhaps not the most sound defense.
Yeah, he had to kind of rely on just athleticism to base out.
Yeah, good balance.
Yeah, but great work by Macintosh, chaining that together, threatening the go behind and getting the takedown in the end.
Yeah.
Great job pinning Dara on the mat.
Yeah, now once again in top control with a fair bit of time to work. Dara's got to do something here in order to kind of make himself dangerous, because at the moment, there is no meaningful path to victory if every round goes like this. Macintosh passing into half guard. Dara putting him back into close guard and perhaps searching for some elbows here.
Based just on Hama closing the guard and his reactions, I think he's realizing, okay, I'm not able to scramble out. Maybe he doesn't have the energy, or he feels the pressure of Macintosh, and he's like accepting the bottom position a bit more now, and maybe trying to work for submission offense of his own, or elbows from bottom position.
Yeah, I think elbows from bottom position are a pretty bright idea, because otherwise I'm not seeing a lot of avenues for him here.
Once again, Macintosh is looking to pressure Hama against the cage.
Trying to scramble and see what he can do here. Yeah, but now he's stacked.
Yeah, that's dangerous. If you get stacked in MMA and someone punches through between the legs, it's...
Yeah, absolutely.
Just the thought of it makes me cringe.
Or I mean, just stack you until those ribs get, absolutely twisted. And now he's hunting for the neck here. This is a bad spot for Dara to be in. He needs to do something. He needs to get out. And it seems like Craig Macintosh was complaining about perhaps him grabbing the fingers or something. He's on that neck pretty dang good.
He's threatening a Dara's choke, or might be trying to go for maybe a Japanese necktie.
It appears the ref might be warning.
He's going for a Japanese necktie, and that is tight. That's tight.
He's really cranking on that with 1 minute remaining. Now, Dara doesn't have quit in him, so if he wants this, he's going to have to take it. And it appears that he is not able to, because Dara seems to have gotten the space he needs.
But that was tight.
Yeah,
that was tight.
Yeah, that was rough.
And it's horrible. The position, like Japanese necktie, is horrible. It like, twists your neck in all kinds of ways.
Hey, I don't even like to wear a normal necktie.
But great job for Hama, just gutting it out in blocking, preventing Macintosh from chaining it to a Dara's choke, which he was looking for briefly. But still, total domination by Craig Macintosh.
Yeah, and as I mentioned,
in the ground exchanges in this round.
Exactly. Survival alone is not sufficient to win you a fight. Hey, you're winning points for toughness, but that doesn't also win you a fight, unfortunately. Dara at least able to get a little bit of an elbow offense in, but nothing meaningful here. Craig Macintosh uncorks a couple shots. Largely through and through the first two stanzas, this has been the Craig Macintosh show, with good positional control, threatening with submissions, a little bit of ground and pound here and there, and more or less after staving off an early onslaught in each round, he's able to maintain, his own game plan throughout.
But it's been a tough, grueling fight for both athletes, and they both look very, very tired on the stool between rounds 2 and 3. So
yeah,
I think if Hama ends up on his back in round 3, he will have a hard time getting up, or because he will likely need a finish. So I'm expecting him to try and come out with something tricky to start up the 3rd round.
Yeah, if he has the energy to, right? Because, I mean, Macintosh, if the kick or whatever it is, whatever he tries, it does not have enough steam on it, does not have enough speed to it, Macintosh is he's too aware for that to be, super effective. So if you're exhausted and you're looking for one particular big kick, you gotta be coming with some serious steam. Touch of gloves. Dara pressures forward. Macintosh pumping that jab. Dara throwing heavy leather though, and he cracks him. This is wild.
I was just about to say, like, Hama looks like he's coming, looking to exchange.
Screaming in his face after he dumps him to the mat. Dara looking to throw heavy leather.
And smart move by Hama, because he knows he'll need a finish.
This is not where he wants to be, though. He cannot get roped in to a clinch or to a position where Macintosh might be able to leverage his grab.
Yeah, you can see Hama just completely different, walking out like hands up, fist clenched, like ready to throw.
But then the exhaustion sets in, and you find yourself again in this position where you know, unfortunately, the odds are if he sticks around there, McIntosh will get him to the ground.
That's true, but this is still what he needs to do, because he needs a finish in this fight. He's not gonna like just put Craig McIntosh on his back and submit him. I think he needs to change the pacing of the fight and land something meaningful, and that's what he was trying to do, which I think was a great change.
Yeah,
change of pace for Hama Dara.
Absolutely. I think perhaps the better tactic there, though, once you've thrown what shots you can, rather than entering into a clinch, is to break away, take your space, get a little bit of a breather if you need it, and then throw leather.
But that's what when you see the fatigue set in. You know, after those, when you throw everything to a shot and kind of fall into the clinch, it just like takes a lot of energy to push off when McIntosh is trying to grab you.
Yeah, absolutely. Easier said than done in all respects. Knee up the middle for McIntosh. Both fighters here visibly fatigued, but swinging leather where they can. Oh, Hama Dara cracks him with one. Oh, another hard right hand over the top. Hama Dara's got him with wobbly legs, and now he is teeing off in these last few seconds. Hama Dara had the ability to put a little bit more steam on it and potentially get a finish there, but I don't think he's able to. I think the exhaustion is just too intense. If Hama Dara is able to dig deep here and really tee off, I think he's got a potential shot at victory. His only shot, perhaps. But does he have it left in the tank? He's covering the mouth there wisely. Maybe he can get a bit more fatigue out of McIntosh than what he's experiencing himself. But there is very little time here. And being in a grappling exchange again is a very, very tough spot.
And McIntosh looks dead tired too. So you gotta remember, even though he is the superior grappler, if you are dead tired, you get hit, you get dropped, and then you end up in bottom position. It's not where your abilities are at their peak. So Hama actually has a chance here. If he can posture up and land meaningful ground and pound, he has a chance to get the finish, I think.
Absolutely. Dug deep for that. Let's see if he can continue to do so. Oh, and that's not a good position to be in. He's got that elbow right there along the joint where the jaw attaches to the skull. Oh, yes, and he is teeing off. If he is able to push the pace here, he may be able to secure a victory.
McIntosh recovers, close guard.
Very, very wise of him. This is a tough third round for both of these men.
And now Dara is just like engaging in the grappling, like, I don't care, jumping on top. This is grueling.
And once again, using that elbow to pin down that jaw. I'd love to see just one last mighty Herculean effort from Hama Dara here. His best shot to put McIntosh away. Because despite this being an incredible round for Hama Dara, it may not be enough to secure him the victory.
McIntosh is trying to work for a heel hook. But Hama wisely backsteps through, gets the mount.
Hama Dara exhausted, but putting everything he has into that shot. And cracking with elbows. Only 20 seconds remaining. This is insane. The blood pouring down the face of Craig McIntosh. Hama Dara putting every last bit of energy and strength he has into trying to get him out of here. He has bloodied and battered him, but will it be enough with only 2 seconds remaining? No! Incredible end to this fight. Hama Dara dug so deep and battered Craig McIntosh in that last round. Pure exhaustion, bloodied. Hama Dara with so much grit and so much determination. This right here, Alexei, is why I have told you I am a fan of him. He digs deep, he goes for it. Both of them just purely exhausted from the immense effort that they both put in to attempting to separate the other from consciousness. Incredible fight. Every single fight that Hama Dara is in, he does something to make it phenomenal.
Yeah, who isn't a fan of Hama Dara after a performance like this? Incredible fight from both athletes. Not to take anything away from Greg Macintosh. Great first 2 rounds, but was that 3rd round enough to score a 10-8 and get a draw for Hama Dara?
That's the question.
Because in my opinion, he was definitely down 2 rounds.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I would say a 10-8 could have been merited there. With the sheer, the amount of damage done was tremendous. These hammer fists, he had him in multiple spots where he was rocked. And there was a decent argument to be made to stop that fight in those last few seconds. Here you have him in mount dropping elbows over and over again, one of which I believe is what cut Craig Macintosh, then throwing everything he can into those shots to try and finish the match.
And maybe 5 more seconds, maybe 10 more seconds, and he would have not seen the judges' scorecards.
Yeah,
but here we are, and I'm very intrigued to see how the judges see this one.
Yeah, was it too little too late to score him a draw? That's the big question here, I think, unfortunately. Victory seems unlikely for Hama Dara here tonight. But, hey, from a fan's perspective, that fight was absolutely exciting.
There's no losers in this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 full rounds, we have the judges' decision. All the judges scored this fight 28-28, so the result is unanimous draw.
Incredible. Honestly, that's a truly incredible performance from Hama Dara to at least even the odds. You know,
I
to kind of come back, throw everything you can into, hey, I'm at least going to make this as bad for you as it was for me, or worse.
Great fight from both athletes. The great spirit. I'm lost of words after this one. And honestly, I have to say, I agree with the draw.
I do as well.
If I would have been a judge, I would have, which I'm thankfully not, I would have scored a draw too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rick, congratulations. That was a great fight. Really even. You had your moments. Hama dominated the last round. What are your comments?
Good fight. I miss my son and daughter. Home until I'll be home soon. Dad will be home soon. I miss you and love you. Thanks for the hospitality here. It's been a great show.
Thank you. Greg Macintosh. Hama, kerro sä myös omat kommentit tuosta ottelusta. Niin kuin äsken Gregille sanoi tässä, niin siinä mentiin päästä päähän ja oli todella lähellä. Mun silmissä ainakin, ettei saanut katkaistua tuohon viimeiseen. Kerro vähän fiiliksiä.
En luovuttanut. Loppuaika. En mä tiedä. Kaveri oli kova aika ja mä tiesin, että se väsyy. Sitten mä pistin 3. kaikkien peliin ja vittu. Laulu sanoi, ei vittu, 2 viikon päästä 8 vuotta täyteen tulee ja vittu oikein tullut voitto, niin mä haluan, että tää matsi. Mä omistan sulle, mun rakas ystävä Sina. Iso osa sun kavereista on täällä. Tosiaan vaikka ei voitto tullut, niin tää ilta ja tää matsi, mä omistan tän sulle Sina. Ai vittu, kiitos.
Hama Dara!
A very emotional Hama Dara there, fighting back tears. What did he have to say, Alex?
He dedicated this fight to a very special person for him. About the fight, he said that he lost the first 2 rounds. He said his opponent, big respect to his opponent, who was very good, and he said he knew he had to go all out in the 3rd, and that's what he did. He gave his all, and he was good enough for a draw.
Absolutely. He threw absolutely everything he had into that performance in that last stanza. And I mean, truly an incredible fight. Craig McIntosh was technically superior throughout both of the first 2 rounds, controlling, dominant. But Dara just dug deeper in that third and threw every damn thing he had at him and tried to make that fight a dirty, dirty scrap. And he did that. And for that, he gets whatever Pyrrhic victory there is in evening the scorecard.
Cage 64 on the 23rd of November at Aino Arena Järvenpää. Live on pay-per-view at cage.fi.